I went into Final Fantasy XIV thinking there would be a ton of things to learn and pick up in order to play the game, and while there is a lot to learn, the tutorials lay out each thing clearly, making progression straightforward. What you'll also learn while playing the game as a beginner is a lot of things you don't need to worry about. Here are my 11 things you don't need to worry about as a beginner to Final Fantasy XIV. Number 1. Money and gear. While researching the game before playing, I got the feeling that money and gear are important things within the world of Final Fantasy XIV. However, I am yet to find this the case. It might be the fact that I'm still at the beginning part of the game, and therefore it's still luring me in to continue playing the game. But not once have I had to actually buy any gear, as the loot from enemies and what you earn from doing quests has allowed me to progress through the game fairly easily. The same is true for money earned from quests. It only seems to go up as you don't need to actually spend any money in the early parts of the game. In fact, the only thing I seem to spend money on is fast travel from location to location. See, I've gone from this at the beginning to this after 50 hours of gameplay. Number 2. If you're someone who enjoys the story and just wants to get to the next part, but find that selecting gear to get to the next part of the game is always time consuming, don't worry, you don't have to scroll through all the gear you have, as Final Fantasy XIV has the recommended gear feature to help make equipping the best gear quick and easy. This therefore allows you just to get to the best part of the game, which is, in my eyes, the stories. Number 3. Don't worry about getting lost. This world is huge. I mean, I don't think I've even scratched the surface even after 50 hours. So if you do get lost, don't worry about it. After a while, you'll get used to the areas, and once you get used to the map, finding things gets really easy. Number 4. If you find yourself getting KO'd at the beginning, don't worry. Just remember to keep an eye on your health, as at the beginning if you pick on too many enemies at once, like I did here with these frogs, you will lose. Number 5. Don't worry about style at the beginning of the game. You're going to notice many players in this game having amazing gear and style. As a beginner, you won't. The gear I've gotten so far hasn't been great in terms of the look, but I know down the road I can sort out my style to match how I want my character to look. Number 6. Don't worry about doing as many side quests as you can. At the beginning I accepted all the side quests I came across. Not the blue ones, as I wanted to save them for later. However, this was a mistake, as many of these side quests are just simple fetch quests. And what I have found is that the main quests, the job quests, and doing some hunts here and there allows me to progress through the game easily without having to do a ton of simple side quests to gain experience. Number 7. Don't worry if it takes you time to get used to the menus. There are a ton of menus and therefore a ton of options you can choose from. This therefore can lead to mistakes of choosing the wrong option and therefore changing how the game is played. So don't pressure yourself to get your layout, hotbar and actions in the correct order right away. Play around with it and see what works best for you. Number 8. You don't need to worry about shopping. This kind of links into the money I was talking about earlier. Other than having to sell gold that you earn from quests, I haven't found any need for shops at the moment. So if you see a shop and think they might have something that you want or need, I would say don't worry about it. It's just a waste of time at this point in the game. From what I know, shops and markets are quite an important part of the game, but I would say at the early stage of the game, it's not something you need to worry about. Number 9. I don't think you need to worry about fates. I've tried a few just for fun, but honestly at this point in the game, I think the best thing you can do is just focus on the main quest and job quest to progress through the story. I mean, take this fate for example. I got this monster nearly down to 0 HP and I accidentally stepped outside the fate area and it reset the fight right to the beginning. I was quite annoyed as it took forever to get it nearly down to 0 HP. However, this is where I thought, why bother with the fates? I don't actually need to do them at this stage in the game. Number 10. Don't worry about the dialogue options. I've only come across this a couple of times so far. When you have to pick a dialogue option, I was slightly concerned that the one I picked would affect my story or game, but so far I can't see of any way it's affected the overall story or game. So personally, don't worry about these when you come across them, just pick the one that sounds good to you. So there's my list of things not to worry about as a beginner on Final Fantasy XIV. What do you think? Am I right in what I'm saying? Is there anything else that you feel there's no need to worry about in Final Fantasy XIV? Let me know in the comments.